Welcome everybody. We have a lot of breaking news to go over and a lot of validation of what we've been talking about, how the government went from quantitative tightening to quantitative easing. So first, we've got Binance charged by the SEC for selling illegal securities. I've got a list of cryptos which include, believe it or not, Matic, Filecoin, Solana, AVAX, and a couple others that I'm going to share with you that were part of this overreach, I'll say, by the government to sue Binance, at least for these individual cryptos, some of them. But the other news is the U.S. Treasury is printing off 1 trillion T-bills. They're auctioning off, I should say, because they acknowledge that in March of 2023, they had $653 billion in reserves at the U.S. general account. They had $653 billion on March 1st. They admitted they only had $23 billion left on June 1st. So in 30 days, or just over 30 days, they managed to blow off $600 billion plus out of their fund. So they were forced to sell T-bills, which vindicates us, and I'll show you the exact sentence where they say this, that we knew they were going into quantitative easing for this cycle, and it allowed us to know that we were about to have a crypto pump. So that's how we were able to get out ahead of it. But now with what's going on with Binance and some of this other stuff coming up, we're going to have to pay very close attention. So I'm going to go through this. I'm going to try to do this in 10 or 12 minutes, show you XRP as it's flirting with 50 cents, and get you out of here because this is very jam-packed. So without further ado, make sure you hit that like button. I appreciate everybody who joined in the live. We had almost 100 people in there at one point, which was spectacular. Make sure you hit that like button, and it is our mission and our duty here to choose positivity over negativity. We need to choose positivity because we're more inclusive when we're positive, and we don't exclude people. We allow a positive energy, and when we have a positive mindset and a group of people have positivity over negativity, that's the God gene. That's the God vibe instead of the devil's vibe. When you have the devil's vibe, you have a lot of negativity and a lot of things get missed and a lot of people get hurt. So make sure you're paying attention to it. We need more godliness in this society. So let's get into multiple different things. We'll start with the T-bills and them acknowledging that they only had $23 billion left in reserve. So you can watch my live that'll be coming up. It'll be shown, or you can watch my earlier update to read this entire article. So, but what they said was cash reserves in the U.S. Treasury general account fell to $22.89 billion on June 1st from $635.99 billion in March. Risky assets such as crypto are vulnerable to higher volatility and weaker returns as higher Treasury yields and a strong U.S. dollar will put pressure on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So they started issuing $173 billion in T-bills today at auction, total of $1 billion by the end of Q3. So that's that news. The SEC sues Binance and CEO Xiaoping Zhao for U.S. securities violations. I'm not going to read through all of this, but I'll read through some of it. In the live when it's released, I go through this entire thing with each and every one of you. The SEC sued crypto exchange Binance and its billionaire founder, Xiaoping Zhao, alleging that they work to attract U.S. customers to its unregulated international exchange, commingled investor funds with their own, and violated security law. The 13 charges come after the CFTC unveiled a similar complaint against Binance and Zhao earlier this year. So basically, the complaint alleges Binance created Binance US as a shield for the main company and Zhao to reveal, I don't like that word, and resolve law enforcement targets and insulate Binance. Two successive Binance US CEOs expressed deep concern over Zhao's level of control, according to the SEC. Both testified before federal regulators. Neither were named, but its first and second chief executives were Catherine Coley and Brian Brooks. So I'm not actually the one running this company, and the mission that I believe I signed up for isn't the mission. And as soon as I realized that, I left. A former Binance US CEO identified as BAM CEO B testifies to SEC. Binance earned $11.6 billion, and then I'm going to get off of this. Binance earned $11.6 billion in revenue, most of which came from transaction fees from June 2018 through July 2021. The complaint said since its inception, the exchange has at first overtly and later furtively worked to entice U.S. customers at direction and control of founders Zhao and SEC alleged. And this is the worst part of it. Binance knew that tens of thousands of customers were in the U.S., but chose not to act. And that's not the worst part. This is. The SEC alleges Zhao ordered the creation of an evasion plan for high net worth customers using a VPN service to hide their U.S. location and submitting compliance documents to obscure their country of origin. So that's a big no-no. That's why I always tell people don't use don't use a VPN if they want to come after you. You know, don't give them any ammo. And then This is the breaking news here. The crypto assets, well, this is all breaking news, but this is major news. This is part of it. The crypto asset traded on the Binance.com platform and Binance.us platform include assets that were offered and sold as securities. So 352 or Article 352. Since the Binance platform's launch, defendants have made available for securities. This includes but is not limited to BNB, BUSD, and the units of each of the crypto asset securities further described below. Ready for this? With trading symbols SOL, which is Solana, ADA Cardano, Matic, Filecoin, ADOM, Sand, Mana, Algo. Once again, Algo is in the shitstorm. Could be why it's heading towards 13 cents with all the other nonsense that's being brought up against it. And Kati, collectively the crypto asset securities. So major news happening here, folks, so don't take this lightly. If you like what I do, make sure to hit that subscribe button, as I would like to make a push towards 17,000 in the near future. We're almost to 16,400. I would love to see more members of Tom's Army, as I'm putting in a lot of work. And I would just love to see more people, a part of the Army, believing in the cause and getting through to the year 2025 unscathed and being able to properly put together a portfolio. As we can see, XRP is under significant pressure, down 8.28%. Down to the 492 level. We've now broke through the 494 level, and that is a very, very bad sign. This could be a liquidity grab here still, folks. We acknowledge that, but right now this is a very big drop. We're going to see if the 46 cents is likely where it's going to come down to. We have 482 underneath, and we're going to see how much longer XRP can hold, but we are getting slaughtered right now, down by 8.6%. But this could be a wider pattern on this inverted right shoulder, and this could actually be the wider creation of it that could allow us to get up to the 585. So we really need to pay attention to if we actually come back down and re-break this pattern breakout. So your first sign that it's really gone to hell is we lose the 46 cent mark. That is the first real sign that we are in some serious trouble. Right now, the 494, this could be a wick down. Even if it comes down to the 482, it's a big overextension. With the way the pattern's been formed, it's not uncommon. But as you can see, we failed the layer 3 attempt to break up out of the 4. We lost the 537, and it became a big rejection point, which that was our fear if we got rejected there, that could be the start of something down. So I still believe, though, everybody always asks me, I still believe the lowest lows aren't in, but we trade the market accordingly. And then we stack up what we need. So that's why I tell people, and it's not to offend people, if you bought XRP at 35 cents, you're fine. If you bought it sub 40 cents with me, my goal, I can't buy it over 40 cents. I have to buy it sub 40 cents. I bought enough sub 40 cents with the 35 average. So now my next buy, I can't even buy sub 40. My first buy can't be until sub 35 cents because of where my average is. And I have money to the side from the savings from 2021 after the big bull run when we sold out. Now I can buy when it's under 35 cents. That doesn't mean you can't buy. This is just my own personal philosophy. Anything under $1, I don't sell unless it gives me a reason to, because it's a fake out, whatever. This is still an accumulation phase, and I expect it to go much lower. So I have money waiting at 35 cents. If you bought it at the same or below 35, which would be the break of the 2021 uptrend, and that could get you better than a 45% drop to 2017 uptrend. So if you're watching and you bought in and you don't have any money or whatever, I just said, and it's not to mean you go collect cans, and you've got plenty of time from when you bought in. It's been several months. So if you've been doing that diligently, you've got hundreds of dollars you can now spend that you can add to your position if it comes down. So that's the philosophy in buying in bear market. So right now, XRP is under a lot of pressure. Crypto's under a lot of pressure. Bitcoin, as we know, we have Destiny with 25,194 with the rejection here. I've called it 9% plus drop down to here. If you get rejected up here, we had to break back within the channel. We did not. We got rejected. And now with all this bad news that's coming out, this could just be a liquidity grab, as I shown in the live, if you weren't there. The actual real key, we have a CME gap at 21,000, but we also have one, as somebody pointed out, at 30,000, that we could have one more potential push up before a significant crash down to 21. And then just pay attention to this area right here, as I drew out a couple days ago on the live, and I don't think I've shown it on the updates. If you're on the live, this is what we had drawn out. And we have all the way down into this area where we can come down to about 24,500 and still not invalidate this inverted head and shoulders. And this could bring us up to 30K before it brings us farther down. If it were to continue up, then you can see how we can come up to around 37, 38. But right now, I wouldn't be paying attention to anything other than if we continue coming down, does 24,500 hold, or do we continue down? Because if that breaks, you got a big drop down to 21 and then 19.5 if 21 doesn't hold. So that's what I'm looking at. Make sure you hit that like button if you got anything out of this update. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Consider joining Tom's Army. If you want to send a donation, anything like that's in the video description below and or pinned comments. If you want to trade on XRP or your favorite crypto on BitGet and or MEXC, there's no spot fees on the buy and sell, and you can futures trade up to 250x longer you're shorting the market. And then what I suggest you do from there is you send it over to UPHOLD, so you don't have to pay the spot fees, and that's where I hold my stuff because I trust UPHOLD the most. And I'll be showing documentation about why I trust UPHOLD and what they've said in the past. They've already acknowledged they hold 1 billion in XRP holdings, so they made it a little bit easier to trade as well. So I send it to there. So that's what I do. Links in the video description below for MEXC, BitGet, and or UPHOLD. Stay blessed, everybody.